Hello and welcome to Off the Charts, episode 171. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, whatever. I don't even know where that bell is. I keep seeing other channels do it, so I'm just going to say it. Hit that notification bell to let you know when I'm publishing new content. All right, so today's episode is going to be my favorite or top 10 favorite power trios. What's a power trio, you ask? I heard you. It's basically a band made out of 3 members. And I would say 90% of the time it's just them on stage. There are exceptions. So, and that's going to be affecting my ranking. So it's going to be, have I seen them live? Has it always been a 3-piece, like a trio? I don't want to use the word you lose points, but the ranking will be affected if you have a 4th member, or if you've gradually added a member to your lineup, stuff like that. Is there a secret member also added? Sorry. Cheers to you all. Well. So yeah, it's going to be affecting, listen, have I seen them live? Have they been always a trio? Did it change with time? And I'll explain myself with every choice that I make. So number 10, never seen these guys live. I think they disbanded, and the guy died even before I was born. So I'm going to go with the Jimi Hendrix Experience. So Mitch Mitchell, Jimi Hendrix, and I forget the third guy. Who the hell was the third guy? Anyway, someone I'm sure is going to write. What the hell was that guy's name? There, Noel Redding. There you go. Wow, starting off good, huh? Don't even know the last guy's name. But you know what? They have 3 albums. I love them. Well, I think this one's got all the hits on it there. But, and I do like the second one. The third one's okay, a little bit long there. But yeah, they've always been a 3-piece. I never saw them live, so I can't really comment that much, but I do love the music. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, like I said, Mitch Mitchell, Noel Redding, and Jimi Hendrix, of course. So I'm going to put this as my number 10. Now, the other ones, I know a little bit more about them there. But like I said, I've always loved, I have all 3 albums here, so maybe I should do a ranking one day. We'll see there. You've got a million other, bootlegs and whatnot, and compilations or unreleased stuff there, but I got 3 studio albums. So there you go. That's number 10. Number 9. So if you watched my last episode, well, I'm going to say it already. Mama's Boys have had a huge impact in the past year for myself. Why are they only number 9? Well, I've never seen them live. They don't exist anymore. But near the end, again, no fault to the singer, but they added a 4th member for their last album. The last 2 albums, actually. They have the first 5 albums have the power trio. So we have the bass player who was singing was losing his voice as time went on there. So he said, might as well just concentrate on the bass and background vocals and hire ourselves a lead singer. But I've seen some footage of these guys live on YouTube, and of course they sound good there. Okay, well, I'm gonna get, there's a point I'm gonna make later on there. You'll see why there. But anyway, yeah, they've added, like I said, to me, their best stuff comes when they are a power trio. So I'm going to put number 9, Mama's Boys. Check it out on YouTube. some people have actually commented on my last episode, which was an episode on Mama's Boy, saying, "Oh my God, I actually," especially the song "Needle in the Groove." They're like, "Oh my God, I, I, I had forgotten," or like, "Yeah, that is a great song." So yeah, it is. So anyway, there you go. Number 9, Mama's Boys. Number 8. I don't think I've ever talked about these guys. Well, I haven't talked about Jimi Hendrix before, and the reason I'm actually making this episode was because it was Mama's Boys that actually I thought of it. I'm like, okay, well, here I am going to talk about Mama's Boys 2 episodes in a row. But this next band, I've never talked about them on my channel yet. I don't have all their discography yet, but I will. So at number 8, they've been a trio most of their careers. But in the mid 80s, they were 4-piece for maybe an album, maybe 2. I'm not sure. So I'm talking about Motorhead. Of course, the original lineup of Lemmy, Filthy Animal Taylor, and the fuck's the guitarist's name there? Fast Eddie Clark. There you go. I'm a huge Fastway fan, and here I am. And of course, lineup changes. Phil Campbell joined in the late 80s. But at one time, they had 4 guitarists. Four during the Eat the Rich era. I don't know what album that was there, but the video we had, some guys get some guitarist name. It was one word. Cruz. I forget his name there. He's passed away. But at one time they were 4. I've seen these guys 4 times live, once on purpose. The other 3 times they were an opener. Very loud band. But actually this is a great album here too, by the way there. But yeah, Motorhead, one of the loudest bands I've seen. And you know what? As time after Lemmy's, actually all 3 original members are now passed away. There was a picture, if I remember, I'll try to put it here. And it was Ace of Spades, how it first was recorded, the album cover, and Ace of Spades today. If after all 3 members were gone, I was like, oh, okay, that actually hit pretty. But anyway, yeah, great trio. But again, number 8. Mostly because I don't have all their albums yet, but also at one time they were a 4-piece for an album or 2. There you go, Motorhead. There. All right, this one. Here, I'll just album number 1 was one of my favorite power trios ever. Album number 2 came 3-4 years later, and they're a 4-piece, and I was like, oh, they have 2 albums. So I'm not going to forget about Blue Murder. I do love this band a lot here, and especially this lineup here with Carmen Appice, John Sykes, Tony Franklin. When I was a kid, I find this to be more of an adult band as opposed to a teenager band, if that makes any sense there. I appreciate these guys much, much more as an adult than I did at my teen years. You wanted to hear on Skinny Bop or this, and then this came out. I was like, whoa, it's a little bit too serious for me here. And of course, as time went by, I love this one here. But the album that came after, nothing but, like I said, this lineup lasted 1 album. And then 3-4 years later came out their second one. This guy and this guy are no longer there, and they're now a 4-piece. So like that's why they're a little bit as low. I mean, because this album here is brilliant. The second one's actually I love it too, probably equally. But there's a couple of songs on the second one that I don't like, as opposed to this one. There's maybe one that's like so there. On the second one, there's maybe 2 or 3, but I do love that album a lot. So anyway, Blue Murder, especially this lineup here: John Sykes, Tony Franklin, and Carmen Appice. There, I said it finally. There you go, Blue Murder. So now that's number 6. Never seen this guys live, and before I do that, never seen these guys live, and it's one of my big regrets. Why? Again, only at number 6. There you go. Like I should have listed these. Number 6. Their last 2 tours, and especially their reunion tour, had a 4th member. But everybody's like, oh my God, back in their heyday in the late 70s and mid 80s, it was one of the best shows or concert they've ever seen. So I'm talking about Triumph. And I'm going to say this again. If you guys have not seen the documentary of Triumph, please do. Everybody that I've talked to, it's like, I like Triumph. They go and watch the documentary. Now they like fucking love Triumph. I'm like, it's probably easily one of my top 2 or 3 documentaries about music ever. But yeah, I've never seen these guys live. Saw some great footage on TV there. But yeah, on the Sport of Kings tour, I have that on DVD actually. They went and got Rick Santers from Santers as a rhythm guitarist and keyboardist. Not sure. Nobody seems to know much about the Surveillance tour era. But I know when they reunited, they did the Sweden Rock, and they had a 4th guy there also. And everybody was like, oh my God, Triumph, like, you've got a 4th guy there, and how dare you? I'm like, have you guys seen the Sport of Kings tour? Like, there was a 4th guy there also, not just a reunion tour there. So anyway, I'm putting number 6, Triumph, as one of the better power trios. Like I said, they're great stuff here. And check out that documentary. Tell them Dan sent you. All right. These guys have been a trio. Like the next, 1, 2, 3. The next 5 bands have been trios pretty much all their careers. They've never had a 4th member. Not that I know of anyway. If you know of a correction, let me know. I've been proven wrong many times on my channel before. I've seen this band live 3 times for sure. And it's one of those bands. The first time I saw them was probably one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Easily my top 5. So I'm talking about ZZ Top. I've seen the Recycler tour was so good. I mean, the tunes are great, but the visual, like the show, was even better. Then it kind of always went downhill, like pretty much everybody else. Like in the 80s was all about the show, and in the 90s, well, the show, went down, and it's not about the special effects anymore, which I get. I totally understand it. If you got the songs to back them up, that should not be a problem, right? Well, I remember seeing, I don't remember what the fuck the tour was, but like it was just them 3 and 2 Hey Shacks, like anyway. But yeah, the Recycler tour was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. So ZZ Top, Dusty Hill has passed away. So Frank Beard, Billy Gibbons, and Dusty Hill. Dusty Hill has unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. They're still going on with, I think it was a roadie playing bass. I don't know if you guys have seen the footage of the bass player playing with a 10 or 15 string bass. Of course, this is ZZ Top. So you know that 10 or those, maybe 10 or 12, I forget there. You know darn well that 10 out of those 12 or 15 strings aren't really there, or they're only there for show. But man, it was hilarious. So anyway, ZZ Top to me is one of the better power trios out there, or just trios, I guess. They're whatever. I'm gonna say this. Okay, so ZZ Top number 5. So you know what? I'm gonna save it to the end. I'm gonna save it to the end. Stick around until the end. There's a reason. Some bands are not here. Number 4. I got all their albums. I've done a ranking of this band before. It needs no introduction. The Police, Stuart Copeland, Sting. And that other guy, what the hell's his name again there? Andy Summers. There you go. Fuck, I'm bad with names, huh? Yeah, I've seen these guys live for their reunion tour. I didn't get to see them in their heyday, I guess, there. But yeah, like they've always been these 3 guys. I'm not sure the reunion tour if there was a 4th guy doing keyboards or sounds. I'm not sure. There was nobody on stage, I can tell you that. There was just those 3 guys. But yeah, there was actually a very good show there. The only complaint I would say about the Police is when you take your hit songs and kind of rearrange them to have a different beat. I was like, okay. Never seen you guys live. I would love to hear your songs how I remember them, But I understand why you might want to play them a little differently, Maybe some people get tired of whatever. Anyway, so yeah, number 4, I'm going to put The Police, and they've always been those 3. They're not together anymore, but there you go. The Police, number 4. Number 3, again, another band that's been a trio for like the longest time, late 80s until now. Just last year, they released a new album. So I'm talking about King's X. Everybody's like, King's X, the band that should have been bigger. I'm like, well, if people keep saying that, I guess I don't know. They're not a household name, I can tell you that there. But yeah, their early stuff is great. The stuff that comes after Ear Candy is like, ugh, that's a little tough to. Now that's probably why it's not a household name. But yeah, Doug Pinnick, Ty Tabor, and Jerry Gaskill have been the trio since the beginning till now. They're still a trio. And their sound is great. I've seen them live twice. And I mean, once in a bar here in Ottawa, which was maybe 20, less than 50 people for sure. It was not a lot of people there. But I saw them in Toronto opening up for Dream Theater and Joe Satriani. And that was great. There was, you're watching a song play, you're like, how the hell did this friggin' pattern of this riff work? And they're just laughing. It's like being cocky, but in a funny way. You're like, oh yeah, we know this riff is complicated, but we know how it works. You don't. Haha. But yeah, anyway, King's X, another trio here that I love here. So that's actually number 3. Who can be number 1 and 2? Probably, I'm sure you can guess one of them for sure. Number 2. These guys need no introduction here. Canada's own Rush. I've liked these guys only in the past few years, and I'm not using Neil Peart's death as an excuse. I had started collecting their albums before he had passed away, like 2 months. Sorry, this is a bad joke, but it's serious. It's true. I started collecting their albums before he had passed away. And then when he had passed away, oh my God, was it ever fucking difficult to get their albums? But yeah, Geddy Lee, Neil Peart, Alex Lifeson. And before Neil Peart, there was John Rutsey for the first album. They've been together since 1973. I'll say 73, 74. I forget. I keep matching it with Kisses. They've toured together and done lots of stuff together there. But yeah, that's going to be a one of the more popular, well, still current there, I guess, there to a point there. But yeah, Rush, one of the best power trios out there. They've been at it. They've been a trio and have been since the beginning. There you go. That's what I meant. All right. Before my last one, I'm gonna say, like, why isn't this a certain band here? Now, I'm gonna use, okay, number one, first of all, I'm telling you right now, it's not fucking Anvil. So Anvil is not a trio in my books. Anvil started off as a four-piece in 80 something. They've done, oh my God, for a good 8 albums as a four-piece. And then the one of the guitarists left. You see him, he's in the so I guess actually the first 12 albums, because This Is 13 is based on that movie, and that guitarist is in that movie. So he left just before This Is 13. So I guess the first 12 albums of Anvil were a four-piece. Then after that, they become a three-piece. And to me, sorry, it doesn't work. It sounds very thin. I mean, I've seen them live a couple of times there. They're good. They're not great there. But I just find as a threesome power trio. They were not originally. That's why they're not on this. I thought about it, but I'm like, no. And same thing with Genesis, another one. Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks. Well, you know what? There's other, like, they have probably like 7 or 8 members on stage. I'm not counting that as a trio either. So anyway, enough of my babbling. My number one pick for my favorite power trio, and this is what actually made me. I saw these guys live for the first time as a headliner, but I was going there for the opening act. And I was there with my friend Yan, and I saw a drum kit, the most minimalist drum kit ever: a bass drum, a snare, a tom, and one cymbal, maybe 2. It was like a 5, and I'm talking like everything, a 5-piece drum set. I'm like, oh my God, that's like the smallest, most minimalist drum set ever I've ever seen. Then of course you had your guitar and your bass. And I'm like, what the, like, this is the same. I mean, I know music had gone a more raw sound at that time, but just the setup, they weren't even on stage. They were just setting up. And I was just looking at the drum kit. I couldn't believe how minimalist that drum kit was. But the sound that came out of that band live, I was like, whoa. So Danko Jones is and then you go, your Danko Jones, they've been many members there. The currently JC is on bass, Danko Jones on vocals, and guitar, and what the fuck's the new drummer's name? Of course, I went and brought their first album there. It's gonna bug me there. I'm sorry, Danko Jones, if you're watching this. But you know what? When I first heard their sound, like, this album really rocks. It's one of their better ones here. But when I first saw that sound live, I'm like, wow, yeah, I guess you really don't need your background keyboards or your, just your bass guitar, your drummer, and your singer that plays guitar. Now, I will say this. I did like it when JC sang backup vocals at the time. I like that version better than just now. Nothing against Danko Jones there. There was just some songs needed a chant or a chorus. Like during the chorus, I feel that JC should be singing backup again like he did. If he never did. Well, there's some videos I see there where he looked like he sang backup vocals or whatever. But anyway, the best sounding band I saw as a trio, like I said, whether it was a bar or an arena, I've seen both with this band, and they had a good sound. Very minimalist sound, very minimalist sounding songs too. But you know what? The sound was there. There's great stuff there. So anyway, that's my little episode regarding power trios. My top 10. I know there's some out there that I've probably missed. I mean, an honorable mention would have been I should have put it was SFH. Uh, I'm gonna leave the. I'll put the album covers here. They're in. I got the CDs there. I got one vinyl upstairs of unreleased material. But anyway, yeah, that was actually a joke type of. But I do like SFH there. Sam fucking Hain. That's what. But none of my friends seemed to like those guys at the time. But I did, probably because they were all into thrash, and I'm like, oh, that's actually good thrash. No, Dan, that's bad thrash. Well, I liked it. So there you go. All right. That's my episode for today regarding power trios. I'm sure there's more out there. Let me know if I missed some, but those are my top 10. And I actually went, searched hard in my collection. This is pretty much what I have in my collection there. So I was like, I'm sure I've missed, but yeah. But like I said, there's a reason. Like the higher up you went into the rankings was if you actually stuck to being a trio and did not add players to your band as time went on. Whatever the reason, that's whether it. My God, sorry. Whatever the reason. So there you go. On that note, see you guys next episode. Next one. Well, in 2 episodes, there's something cool happen. All right. See you guys later, and we shall see you guys next time. Take care.